What is going on, YouTube? So today we're going to be doing the infamous Fuse 27 on my 2014 Gen 1 Ford Raptor. It's going to be interesting to see if I can even fit my Raptor in my garage. So if not, we're actually going to do the installation outside of the garage, but this is going to be fun to figure out nonetheless. So if you buy the Fuse 27 fix, it comes in a kit. You get the upgraded little box fuse, a new wire extension because the spade is actually going to go in the fuse box into a new location. I believe it's fuse 70, so we're actually relocating the small spade fuse from slot 27 over to a new slot 70 with this upgraded fuse block. And they give you some shrink wrap and a sticker to put on your fuse box to let people know that fuse 70 is now the fuel pump relay. And the tools you're going to need: soldering iron, and that's all the solder that I have, so which that'll be plenty. We're going to need a flathead screwdriver to help break free the clamshell for the fuse box so we can split it in half easier. You will need a blade of some sort to cut some electrical tape they have on the wiring harness. And so the sticker gauge shrink wrap right here is actually, it goes with your new cable, and this one is to cap off the existing power wire for fuse 27. So fun fact, it does fit in the garage. It's a super tight fit, and look how close that is. I don't think you can get any closer, but it's in the garage, so I guess I can get started now. And look at that, with the hood popped open. It's almost like we built the garage around the Raptor at this point. So first things first, you guys need to start by undoing this 8mm nut that holds in the negative cable to the negative terminal in the battery. Okay, so now we need a 10 to get this nut off. And we can remove this big power cable so we have more room to work around with. There we go. So to free up some more room, we're going to need to cut this electrical tape that's around the main fuse box harness. Once we get that cut and separated, we can have a little more room to play with. Cutting the driver's side tape's a lot easier than the passenger side, so yeah, all you need to do is just break that and you're good to go. Okay, so once you cut that tape off the harness, you're going to need to pop this little push tab out. Now, with the harness cut free from the sides of the fuse box and this one disconnected, now we can focus on pulling these black tabs outwards. You have 2 up front, 2 in the back. We're going to have to split the bottom portion of this clamshell free. It looks like I might have to squeeze a flathead in here. Okay, so if you use a flathead, you can actually disconnect these 8 locking tabs. They just kind of pry up and over these little nubs right here. He's working on the last one. And then now you have complete access to the fuse box and this entire rat's nest of wiring. So what we're going to do is locate fuse 27, which I'm going to show you guys. It's this yellow 20 amp fuse. So you just have to find the wire that correlates to that fuse, and I'm pretty sure it's this big giant blue and red wire that I'm actually holding with my finger. I guess we're just going to continue doing it how the Ford instructions recommend you doing it, which is just snipping the wire in half. So I'm going to have this one pulled over. This is the wire that we're going to hook up to the new black wire they gave us. And then we're going to cap this off with the other piece of thin shrink wrap that they gave us. So I'm going to go ahead and slide that shrink wrap over this, heat it up, and then pinch it off like they suggest. So here's the thin piece of shrink wrap. We're just going to slide that over and heat it up. And once it shrinks up, we're going to take some needle nose and pinch off that open end. Now we're just going to pinch that off. Oh, this shrink wrap has like adhesive in it to seal it off, so that's pretty cool. And there we go, that's how you cap off fuse 27 permanently. So now we're going to get our black wire and splice it into the original wire. So I forgot to mention, you are going to need wire strippers if you want to do it the easy way, but we kind of rerouted this wire so we have more room to work with. So now I'm going to take my wire strippers and strip off some of the insulation so we have exposed copper, and then we can solder up this wire to our new black one. So now we have the fuse 27 wire stripped and our black wire. So what we're going to do now is twist these together and do some soldering. So when you go back with hooking up those two wires together, the instructions say to fold it together like a J, as you can see right here. Fold the black circuit forward as shown in the graphic. And then once you fold it to a J, you just kind of twist them together and then solder it. So that's what we're going to do. I forgot how much I hate soldering, but we got it loaded up pretty good to solder as much as we could. And then this shrink wrap is actually pretty cool because it has that adhesive stuff in it, so it kind of like glues itself shut. You can see it oozing out. But now that the soldering is done, we just have to feed this spade, which on this diagram you can see it's right here. I believe it goes right there. I'm going to double check, and once I verify that is fuse 70, we're going to slide that spade into this socket. Okay, so this is indeed fuse 70 right here. It's beside this 30 amp fuse. So I'm gonna flip this box over and feed the spade in. So here you can see we have the spade slid into well, you kind of really can't see it, but we have it slid up in there in place of fuse 70. You'll see that the spade end comes out on the bottom right there, so it's pushed through, and now we can go ahead and grab our new fuse block, place it in there. Oh, it's a tight fit. A very tight fit. Make sure it didn't push. No. Okay, so I'm gonna tuck this wire up in here and try to button everything up. So just make sure all the wires are tucked in the box when you start massaging these clips back together. There we go. Everything is snapping back into place nicely. So this tape, we can actually just re-tape that. once we get all that retaped, we can hook these wires back together, put that 10mm nut back on, tighten that up, and hook the battery back up and crank it over and hope it starts. And if it starts, I guess that means we done it right. Okay, so fuse box is back together. We have that 10mm tightened up. Now we're just going to tighten up this 8. The battery terminal. There we go. Nice and tight. I guess we can go ahead and put our official Fuse 70 sticker on the fuse box and then try to crank it over. Okay. If the truck starts over, I guess you done it right, but the sticker makes it official. I think the sticker is actually what fixed everything, so that's Fuse 27 in a nutshell. As always, thanks for watching.